Well, welcome to part 3 of this video. And in this video, we are going to be leaving Oslo and picking up a hire car. And then we're going to be driving to the fjords of Norway, and in particular, Sognefjord and Fjord. This will be a 3-day trip, and we will be continuing on with a part 4 later on. So let's get to the train station and let's get out of Oslo. We've got a lot of cases to carry. So on the journey back to the airport, I am not going to have these things available to handle my camera, unfortunately. So travelling to the airport from Oslo city centre, you've got regular trains which travel once every 20 minutes or so, but not on a regular clock face. And you then also have the dedicated airport express trains which travel roughly once every 10 minutes from Oslo Central and once every 20 minutes from Drammen. The regular trains cost about 128 kroner one way for an adult single ticket. The airport express trains are pretty much double the price. In my opinion, the regular trains are just as fast, or almost just as fast. They will stop at Lillestrøm only on the journey from Oslo Central. The airport express trains also stop at Lillestrøm. So there's really little to choose between the two. I will say that roll-on luggage access and wheelchair access is better on the regular trains. You've got steps you have to take with the airport express train. Well, we ordered a small Volkswagen Polo, and instead we get a medium-sized SUV. Ironically, SUVs, you can't get all the luggage in without taking the seats down, which is just interesting. But anyway, time to be on our way to the next destination. Okay, so we are now on the E16 heading west from Oslo Airport. We're heading to Hønefoss. And from Hønefoss, we will then continue on the main E16 route, going northbound to Fagernes, and then we will continue around the south end of Jotunheimen, and then turn off at Tyen to get onto a road going to Øvre Årdal. So that is our driving plan for today. Now, I can imagine many of you thinking, Anthony, you drive an electric car at home, why aren't you picking up an electric rental car? And the answer to that question is that the advantages with owning an electric car do not translate into advantages with renting an electric car. You do not have the advantage of free solar charging during the daytime. You do not have the advantage of cheap overnight electric car charging at your home. You are, of course, on the road, so you are subject to the prices dictated by roadside charging. When it comes to roadside charging, it's still the case that you cannot just simply plug in your car and tap your credit or debit card and get charging. You still have to set up an app account, you still have to get a verification code on your telephone, and you still have to find out that the verification code is only sent to Norwegian telephone numbers. None of that has changed since my video on renting an electric car over a year and a half ago. Now, on this journey, I came across some tourists who were renting an electric car. They were trying to use the roadside chargers, which are known as recharge. You don't need an app for that. You just need to scan a QR code. They got to a situation where they were trying to accept terms and conditions, except for the fact that the website did not have a box with which to accept the terms and conditions, and therefore they were left stranded without being able to charge. Now, when it comes to a petrol car, you don't have those disadvantages at all. Now, yes, it is more expensive to drive a petrol car in terms of the energy costs and also the road tolls, but you can rent an electric car cheaper if you go for a small one, and indeed I tried, and we got a big car instead for no extra cost.
So here we have a moose, little cow moose, which is just minding its own business.
So this is Fagernes town centre. It's been over 25 years since I've been here. 1999 was the last time I was in this part of the world. And to be honest, I can't remember the exact details of how it used to look. All told, it's quite a nice little town. What have we got here? More property. So what we got? £300,000, 3 bedrooms, 188 square metres. That's not too bad, relatively speaking anyway. So this is the main river flowing through Fagernes town centre. So it's not quite as big as other rivers I've seen in Norway. It's not a glacial river, none of this green tinge to it. Now, despite renting a petrol car, I did want to see how the facts on the ground have changed during this holiday. One of the things I have seen with the Octopus Electroverse is that the group of electric car chargers known as Recharge are now available from the Octopus Electroverse app. It costs about 33 pence per kilowatt hour, which is quite a lot cheaper compared to the mix of AC and rapid chargers that you get in the United Kingdom. So we're coming up to a road junction. It's a road junction where we turn off the E16. This is going to be, we're turning off onto a place called Tuyens Krysset. So then we're going to be heading off into the road which skirts around the south end of Jotunheimen National Park. So we're now at, I think this lake is called Tuyen, to the south of Jotunheimen. So we've got a view into Jotunheimen now, and we're now in the realm of snow. We're over 1,000 meters up, and it's quite a quiet road, and it seems to have been upgraded compared to the Google Street View map. The Google Street View map had a narrow road with no central marking. This is fairly decent, relatively speaking. You can, and it's very quiet as well. I mean, it's the middle of June, and there isn't much traffic along here at all, which I find interesting. I think it is still a little bit early in the season for hiking in Jotunheimen, but certainly the car parks there are absolutely enormous, so they can accommodate a lot of people. But yeah, it's a wild place, that's for sure. Okay, so now we are dropping all the way down to sea level. So it's there's some switchbacks coming up ahead in about 4 or 5 kilometers time. So now the road steepens up. So we've got a tunnel here. One thing I have to say is that this is an automatic car. It does have a low gear range underneath drive, and in spite of that I'm still accelerating, so I'm having to periodically apply the brakes. Don't like that. I mean, we're talking about a 1,000 meter drop, so your brakes are going to get hot. If I had my electric car, my Model 3, I'd be having regenerative braking. I do know that regenerative braking becomes less effective the more you use it. So here comes the first switchback. We've got an old tunnel here. Look, Rachel, it's a scary tunnel. Right. Just around this tunnel. Good. So what we have coming up is the town of Øvre Årdal, and we're going to be going further down the road to Årdalen. This isn't a fjord coming up, this is a lake, quite a magnificent lake, I'm going to have to say. So this will be the last mountain switchback, I think. Okay.
Obviously they were developing their techniques there.
Yes. I'm not too sure how old these tunnels are, but they probably date back to the Second World War, I'm guessing.
Turn left onto Jotunvegen.
So we're in the town of Øvre Årdal.
These are quite warm. They feel lukewarm. I'm sure the discs are much warmer than that. Well, this is Øvre Årdal, similar to Fagernes, but with mountains around us. So this bridge here, built 1937. So this is the river which comes down from Utladalen. Up there you've got the Vettifossen waterfall. And to the left you've got Hurungani, which is some of the most formidable mountains above 2,000 meters. The high top is Stora Skagastolstind, which you can't see here. Well, we are now in Utladalen, and this is the car park at the end of the road. Interesting thing to note is that we've got car charging available. I mentioned that car parks in the national parks in Banff and or in Kananaskis in Canada should probably invest in these kind of charging facilities to encourage uptake of car chargers. You could probably have solar panels on the top of this, and indeed they might even have solar panels on the top of this canopy here. But this is exactly what I'm talking about. 4 charging stations, not occupied here, but that would be the ideal thing to have. So we'll have a look at this. This is Hjellefossen. There's a much bigger waterfall further up that valley called Vettifossen. So this is an interesting place to be. So a quick summary of the rules related to flying a drone in Norway. You must use a Norwegian operator's license or an operator's license from elsewhere in the European Union. If you go to Norway, it will cost you 230 kroner per year to register your drone for flying in Norway. You must have liability insurance for your drone. That includes your DJI Mini Free, and it includes recreational flying. That is a difference to the United Kingdom. If you are flying a drone, you must register your flight, every flight, with the Norwegian National Security Authority. You must not take photographs of sensitive areas, such as what you see in red here. This is an example of a naval base in Horten near Oslo Fjord. If you zoom out, you can see that most of the sensitive areas are away from the mountains. Finally, there are restrictions for flying drones in national parks and other protected areas. If you look at the regulations for Jotunheimen, for example, it will say that unnecessary noise is prohibited and it is not permitted to use motorized model aircraft. So that's a summary of all the drone rules which are different to the United Kingdom. So after our brief visit to Utladalen, we're back on the road and heading the short distance from Øvre Årdal down to Årdalstangen, where we had our hotel for the next 2 nights. Okay, so here we are at the Klinkenberg Hotel in Årdalstangen. So we have got a twin room, and it is Slightly bigger. Somewhat slightly bigger than the economy twin room that we had in Oslo. And a lovely view out of the window. So this is the Klingenberg Hotel that we're staying at. So in terms of what we have for charging facilities, does this look familiar? Yes, this looks like what we had in Vollangesтерstu up in Troms. This is the recharge facility. We've got rapid chargers, 50 kilowatt DC, and we've got maximum 22 kilowatt AC. So I had a look at the prices on the Charge Finder app. This is 49 krona per kilowatt hour as of 2024, June 2024. So it's still very expensive. The rapid chargers, 59 krona per kilowatt hour. You're much better off using the superchargers where they exist. But even so, I think they will be expensive. Yeah, I'm surprised how expensive they are, given that this is Norway and the retail electricity prices have come right back down again since last year. But yes, look at the view, look at the view. Isn't that lovely? That's worth staying here for, don't you think? So we're going to be doing an evening walk after dinner. This is the main street in Årdalen. According to OpenStreetMap, there should be a footpath just here actually. So we'll just be following this over to the Vatnet on the other side of the village. A very nice straightforward walk along the riverside. It's a well used graded path, even got street lights so you can do it at night time without any trouble whatsoever. This is the intermediate bridge. This is bridge number 2, but there's a bridge number 3. And you can follow this paved footpath now. It's going around the outside of this industrial estate. So at the other end of Årdalstangen, we've got the Vatnet. This is not seawater, this is not part of Sognefjord. This is fresh water. And then we have a footbridge which goes across the river. Looks like we've got some conduit as well, probably carrying pipes and cables. So that's it for this video, and in the next video we are going to be taking a drive on the Tinderveien, which goes up and over out of Øvre Årdal, and we're going to be doing a short walk up at higher altitudes, where of course Dizzy the drone is going to be making another appearance. So I'd like to thank you all for watching, and I'll talk to you again very soon.